Habibti, have you bought your tickets? Because we're traveling to Botswana. This is where the case takes place. Mariette Bosch is the daughter of an affluent liquor store owner from South Africa. Herself and her husband Justin decided to move to Gaborone, which is the capital city of Botswana, because you know the economy is lively, it's very vibrant, and there is less crime. They decided to settle in Pagane, which is a neighborhood in Gaborone, which was very popular for white South African experience, and it was referred to as the Little Sandton. Mariette then became a member of the Gaborone Dutch Reformed Church and entered into high society. That's where she met and became friends with Maria, but we'll call her Ria Wolmarans, and her husband Martinus, but we'll call him Dini Wolmarans. So she became friends with Ria Wolmarans and the husband Dini Wolmarans. In 1995, unfortunately, Justin, who is Mariette's husband, died in an automobile accident, I'm assuming a car accident. And then shortly afterwards, Mariette and Dini, Ria's husband, them two, they started having an affair. Wow. Mariette started having an affair with her friend's husband. Okay, let's backtrack. 1993, the Wolmarans separated, but a year later they moved in back together, despite Dini promising Mariette that he would divorce his wife. So sengathi uMariette akayizwisisi kahle le ndaba. In June 1996, Mariette then travels to Petersburg, not Pietermaritzburg. Some of you still confuse Pietermaritzburg with Petersburg. Okay, Pietermaritzburg and Petersburg are two different places. So she travels to Petersburg. She receives her dad's pistol from one of her friends. The following day, she managed to smuggle this pistol in Botswana, and she heads straight to the Wolmarans' residence, which was located 2 blocks away from her. And she's like, I want my man. So she jumps over the security wall and she starts shooting. And the bullets hit Ria Wolmarans, and she was hit twice on her stomach and her rib. There were no witnesses to the crime. I mean, at first, the police assumed that it was a burglary situation as no suspect was named. So Mariette takes it upon herself to tell Judith, who is her sister-in-law, that, you know what, I am in love with Dini, and I feel like we're gonna get married. As angry and as bitter Judith was at Mariette, she managed to persuade Mariette to hand the pistol over to her, of which then she promised that she will send it back to the original owner, who was the mutual friend. So then Mariette hands over the pistol to Judith's husband. And then you think that at least Mariette would have a liver. 3 months after the shooting, she decides to order a dress, not just any dress, a wedding dress from a designer in Pretoria, because you know what? Her heart was set in stone that she is getting married to Dini Wolmarans. Like, hibo. So once Judith, the sister-in-law, discovered the details about the pistol and this whole situation about the wedding dress, she decided to hand in the pistol to the police. The police then decided to arrest Dini on suspicion that he had something to do with it, however, was let go the following evening and was never charged. So I'm assuming through further investigation, then they found out that Mariette was actually the suspect. So once they then arrested Mariette, the whole legal process started. The Botswana prosecutors said that this murder encompassed the 4 L's of murder, which is love, lust, loot, and loathing. She was originally held at the Botswana Prison Service, Lobatse Prison, and guess what happened afterwards? Dini Wolmarans still decided to marry her in 1997 and supported her. This lady just shot your wife, like, make anyway. So the whole court proceedings happen, and on the 13th of December 1999, Justice Abu Ghai, I'm sorry if I'm butchering his surname, found Mariette guilty, and February 2000 he then sentenced Mariette not to 5 years, not to 10 years, not to 50 years, not to 100 years, but to death. January 2001, Mariette appeals. Desmond De Silva, who was her representative at the time, also tried his luck with the courts, saying this and that. And that same month, the Botswana Appeal Court denied the appeal, ruling that Mariette's explanation was not convincing at all. So the only way that Mariette could survive this execution was if she got a pardon from Festus Mogae, who was the president of Botswana at the time. Now, girl, listen to this. From 1966 up until the time of Mariette's execution, 33 people had been executed in Botswana. Now, the weekend before Mariette's execution, Festus Mogae declined granting clemency. While waiting for her death sentence, the South African government declined to intervene in her case. Up until her death, she denied killing Ria and blamed a third party of being the real culprit. Now, when it comes to execution, now this is before they found their independence. In Botswana, the punishment for murder is death, unless there are serious circumstances warranting leniency are found. After a year spending time on death row, she was at 5:30 a.m. on the 31st of March 2001. The execution was held at the Central Maximum Prison in Gaborone. Now, listen to this. Nobody was given notice of the execution. No one was told. No family members, no lawyers, and all of these people heard of her execution on the radio. Dini Wolmarans had planned to see her the night before, but they actually lied to him, saying that no, there are some investigations that are happening. Kanti, these people are prepping for Mariette's execution. In Botswana, no relatives are allowed when it comes to the execution, and her lawyers just criticized the execution due to its unusual quickness. So now what happened after? The 2nd of April 2001, Thabo Mbeki, who was our president at the time, was actually planning a petition to have Mariette's execution overturned, not realizing that the execution had already happened. Then there were different organizations who were actually talking about it, saying that, you know, this execution was handled unfairly. You know, some people were just like really not happy about how they handled things. So this case was compared to the book or film called The White Mischief. I think it's the same, almost like the same scenario, but it's like a husband that's killing another man who was having an affair with his wife. But I think this was in Kenya. A whole documentary was like made on Bosch's murder. In 2001, the Botswana government refused to air the documentary, and they advised that it will lead to litigation. After this decision, Chris Bishop, who was the head of television news, then resigned. Chomi Mijolo, what do you guys think of this case? I feel like there was a lot going on. The heart will make you do crazy things. Please leave a comment down below to let me know what you guys think, and if there are cases that you'd like me to cover, just reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to do that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.